you know, when we decided to do the August Chairman's Challenge, there was a real purpose behind it, and that is because at the end of August is sort of the slowest month in trying to motivate people to get healthy and fit, right? Because the summer months are behind them, they're not going to try to get in shape for Halloween or Thanksgiving, right? So it's very easy to put it off in August, and they're getting ready for back to school, so they're not starting a new business, you know, a lot of distractions. And so we put this challenge up to see who would rise to the occasion to help us continue to build the business while we try to get prepared for the first quarter. And Hillary was one of the top 10, and she did so well that we're actually traveling around the country, meeting with each one of the top 10, and doing a little interview that she can then use, and maybe she can share with her team to use as what we call a third-party tool, so that you can show people just what this is about, and that it's not some crazy gimmicky thing, that it's, you know, I'm just a guy trying to solve my own problem. I'm not a fitness guy, I'm not a nutritionist, I don't like to eat vegetables, I don't like to work out, so we're just trying to, really the whole company is all about me, just trying to solve my problem because I don't like it. And it just so happens we create stuff that's marketable at the same time. But literally, Shakeology even, my wife literally said to me one day, "You eat like a second grader." And because I don't like vegetables, you know, and I wasn't having a problem getting enough protein. So when we started the network, the Team Beachbody business, we knew that we wanted to have a real good meal replacement shake, that was going to be the opportunity for people. As we were selling thousands upon thousands of fitness programs, people were still struggling with the meal replacement side. How do I dial in the nutrition part, right? I know that was an issue for me. You know, one thing is portion control, the other thing is trying to get the greens and the fats and the phytonutrients and all that kind of stuff. So I asked my wife to help, who has a background in this kind of stuff, to help formulate this, and in her French-Canadian accent she said, "No." And I was like, "Why? Why won't you help?" And she said, because she's done this in the past for other companies, and she created a masterpiece, fantastic stuff. I mean, she is literally, and I'm not just bragging about my wife, she is one of the best in the world at formulating this kind of stuff. If you saw our pantry, you'd see it's like a vitamin barn. I mean, there's no food in there at all. It's pills and powders. And my son thinks that a meal, my little 2-year-old is like, "Where's my pills? Where's my powders? Where's my spoonful of liquid?" No, but so she said she would only help us formulate shake if I wouldn't mess with it. Because she's done that in the past, formulated for somebody, and then they start to cut the corners. So that the company, you know what I'm saying, corporate gets involved, and they're like, "Hey, that's good." And so you have the artists, from a nutrition perspective, put it together, get the great stuff, and then the suits come in and they start to trim around so that they hit their profit marks. Well, it's possible that these two things can coexist. At least that's my theory. That was our theory with P90X. Nobody was selling a $120 package of DVDs before P90X. But again, the point was, I might buy that. If you know, I would rather buy that than a trainer or have to go to a gym, because I don't like to work out. I don't like to go somewhere to have to work out, and I don't necessarily like working out in public. So I was like, if I might do it, maybe there's another 100,000 or maybe even 1 million people that might do it. It turns out that there's probably closer to 5 million people that would like to do that. So what was I talking about just then? So when we created this, you know, literally this Shakeology was about trying to give people a meal replacement that didn't cut corners, and yeah, $4 a serving retail, right? And many people might react to that first and go, $4 a serving for a powder? It's ridiculous. But when you compare that to what happens when you just try to spend $4 at McDonald's, try to spend $4 at Subway, or $5 footlong, right? They talk about, and then compare nutrition, phytonutrients, digestive enzymes, prebiotics, quality of protein, lack of hormones, lack of GMO, lack of pesticides. That's what you're buying with $4, right? And that's why when people step up to be coaches like Hillary has, what they're doing is not just selling another thing, another little promise, selling something that really has a lot of love behind it, has a lot of substance behind it, a lot of discipline to try to, for once and for all, deliver something that will give people quality and a value that is easy for them to represent. I've looked at network marketing before. I was telling Hillary when we were in the car, I actually did a network marketing business for a little bit and was not interested in it. It wasn't something that I could get behind. The reason I think this is approachable and the reason I think it's growing fast right now is this is a network that everybody can understand. We have a trend of obesity in this country, 200 million people overweight or obese. They expect that to grow up to 86% of the country by the year 2030. And that's our kids we're talking about, but we know what the solution is. We know what the cure is. Each one of you right here, if you're coaches, already represents the cure. Exercise and eating right. So, and anybody who's not a coach, if you know there's a cure for something, and you know there are people who suffer, their lifestyle's not the same, they might not be digesting well, they might not feel good energy, they might not be playing with their kids, all of life is not available to them. If you know that the cure is available to people, and yes, it does take some lifestyle change, but it doesn't need to be lifestyle ruin, it's just lifestyle change. And once you do that lifestyle change, your lifestyle can improve. And that's the premise here, is that this multi-level marketing business is something that everybody can be comfortable representing to their friends and family, because you're not going to find out in a few months that it was just a false promise. This is exercise, you know, this is portion control, and this is good nutrition. So that's really what the foundation of this is. On top of that, a support structure that asks you to be the ones carrying this message, rather than an iconic Beachbody or some CEO, you know, getting on the cover of magazines and all that stuff. We've had enough of that. What we need is people helping people. People like Hillary, taking the time, taking an hour a day, taking a 2 hour a day, to go on Facebook, to go on Twitter. Just share your message. Just share what you're doing. 75 pounds she lost with Chalene Extreme. She didn't have to sell anybody to start this business. How much sales did you do when you first got it started?
Not that much at all.
You're not a salesperson professionally?
No.
Yeah.
No. It just was people seeing what I was doing and saying, oh, what are you doing? You look good. You look like you're changing. You look happier. You're losing weight. What is it that you're doing? I mean, it was simple as that.
Well, that's the premise, right? Right there is the premise. In a country with 200 million people overweight or obese, that means that some people are going to do the hard thing and make that little lifestyle change. That's hard work, right? Because the kids, they want your attention, and you got to get another job, and you got to make some money. It is hard to lose that 75 pounds. If she's the one that does the hard work of losing 75 pounds, and that creates interest around her on Facebook, on Twitter, at the supermarket, at the PTA, wherever, she's the one that deserves to get paid for it. Beachbody doesn't deserve all that money. If she's going to generate interest in our products that way, she deserves a cut of the action. And here's the trick. Because now she has an incentive to lose the weight and keep it off, she's going to maintain. Because now she wants to continue to build that business. She sees that it's possible to really make some serious income. She said today that she would not be surprised that she builds this to where she's making $1 million a year. When in your life did you think that you would start a business for $40 that could make you $1 million a year?
I never did.
Okay. I bet you that's an okay incentive for you to keep the weight off.
Absolutely.
Is there anybody in here who would refuse to change their lifestyle if they could make $1 million a year? Any hands? No, I won't do it. $1 million? Not enough. That's what I'm saying. And that, see this guy. Short alley. Where's the bouncer? 200 million people. We only have, probably today, we've got to about the 35,000 coach mark. We need more than 35,000 coaches if we're going to touch 200 million people. Or let's say we can't get all 200 million of them. Let's say we can only get 50 million of them. That's a multi-billion-dollar business, selling healthy lifestyle, representing it with success stories of people who really did it. I think that's like the coolest expression of network marketing ever, right? It's not some shot of juice. It's not